Welcome, welcome, welcome. And my goodness, after seeing everybody come in today, I think it's fair to say welcome home. Welcome back to your home. My name is Mike Finnegan. I'm an assistant professor of the Staley School of Leadership Studies, and it's just a great honor to be celebrating 20 years of leadership education and development. Wow. And of course, in true leadership studies fashion, the only way we can really pump up a crowd is, of course, to have our K-State marching band, some of our best and finest. And of course, what was really cool about that, there were a bunch of members in the band who are also, of course, leadership studies minors. But today, real quick, first off, I would ask that if you were part of the 20th anniversary reunion committee, would you please stand up to be recognized? Woo! So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. One of the reasons why we're here today with this great celebration is because of your work and energy. If you are a K-State Leadership Studies alum, would you please stand up, our alumni? Wow. You know, years ago when Bob and Susan started this, if they would have just had maybe that many people in the entire minor, they would have been happy. And so now, if you are a friend of the Staley School of Leadership Studies, please stand up and be recognized as well. Our friends of leadership studies. It has been so cool to see former faculty of leadership studies here, not only today, but also throughout the week. If you are a former faculty member of leadership studies, please stand up. Woo! And then also, my goodness, our current faculty, if you'd please stand up. And of course, last but not least, the reason why we're really all here today is because we're so focused on student leadership, education, and development. Current students, if you'd please stand up. Woo. So in this space, we kind of have a tradition before we get large lectures started and letting learning begin. But I'm going to make the assumption that everybody has the ability to clap. And so on the count of 3, I would encourage you to see if about 300 of us, it seems like, could all make but one sound. So on the count of 3, we're all going to clap. 1, 2, 3. Nice. My good. See what happens when you have a goal and you established a vision? All of a sudden, Susan, 20 years later, magic happens. But I would also contend that you have an ability to vocalize maybe how you're feeling this evening. And since it is Friday, I'd invite us to do one more clap in unison and then to roll it down with a happy Friday. So it's going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, clap, pause, and then we'll all say happy Friday. Good? All right, gang. So jazz hands, spirit fingers, commit to this, and we'll get going. On the count of 3, happy Friday. 1, 2, 3. Happy Friday. And with that, happy Friday. President Myers, if you would please give a welcome.
Happy Friday. Thank you, Professor. Every time you come to leadership studies, you have to leave the building with a lesson. So my lesson that I learned tonight is that if I want to throw a party, I know who to ask to put it together. This is a great party. Isn't this awesome? Isn't this awesome? 2 decades. And all those decades, I think, are represented from the early students, early staff to today. And don't we have a great staff today? Aren't they just wonderful? Mary and Tricia and all the folks that I work with. Mike, thank you. It's hard to describe the impact that this institution has had on Kansas State University. I think it's changed us in many ways, and all for the better. And it's also hard to understand, because we don't see all of you that are out there doing what you do every day, the impact you have on the world. One thing we do know, if you've been through this program, whatever, minor, whatever you've done here, that the impact is good. You've been a good force for this world, and we need more of that. And this program is absolutely awesome. And I'm happy to be able to be here tonight just to welcome you all from, who's come the furthest? What do we got here? I know we had some people that made real effort to be here. Yeah, North Carolina, I talked to, yep. Idaho, Boston. Thank you, thank you. From around the country and maybe outside the country, we've had people come back. Why? Because this is something really important, something that had a big impact on their lives, and then you have impact on others. We really appreciate you. And I appreciate Mary Toller and what she and her folks, was that for or against? Anyway, thank you so much for being here. We're just, my wife, Mary Jo, where's Mary Jo? Stand up, Mary Jo. Mary Jo's here. If you want to get me to do anything, you talk to Mary Jo and it usually gets done. That's how life works in general. So thank you very much for the opportunity to say a few words. I'm going to introduce Tricia Gott. Dr. Gott, you got it. Thank you. Thanks for letting me be part of it.
So thank you to President Myers, and thank you, Mike. And thank you, Provost Mason, who's also joining us here this evening. As President Myers said, my name is Trish Gott, and I'm the Assistant Director here at Leadership Studies. And as a part of this week, we honestly couldn't be more excited, there I see them smiling at what they see up there, than to welcome back the first class of Leadership Studies. This year is a special year where we remember the foundations of this school, our school. And as Susan takes time to remind us all that we should never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And we know Susan said this after Margaret Mead, but Susan, we think of you when we say these words. These words invite us to reflect on this group, this first class, who together with Bob and Susan and Dr. Bosco and Dr. Franklin and Dean Holen, President Weefald, and so many others who are here tonight in this room, on this campus, in this community, together work to dream and then build what we now know today as the Staley School of Leadership Studies. Provost Kaufman once said about the work of Susan and the school that we here are builders of people. Well, these 9 members of the first 14 in the Leadership Studies graduating class are some of those people. They've gone on to build, to dream, and to lead. So tonight, it's our honor to introduce you to our 2017 Michael C. Holen Leaders in Residence. And as I continue to talk with the first graduating class, please come down and join me in front here. Pretty darn good. Dean Holen and his wife Kathy, who are here with us this evening, know why this award is so important to us. The first recipients were Mary Lynn and Warren Staley. This award honors Dean Holen's legacy, but it also recognizes that leadership is a process and is aimed toward the common good. And this group right here, they've spent the last 2 days with students sharing just that, how they've continued the leadership for the common good. So tonight they're going to share a little bit about who they are and what they've learned here 20 years ago, and hopefully in the last 2 days. The 1997.
Every time we got here.
That's because you bragged about being the first graduate since 20 years ago.
Hello, everyone. Alphabetically, I've claimed that I'm the first graduate. Aubrey Abbott Patterson. Unless your name's Aardvark, I win. So, though a couple of these people do have age over me, so they could claim that too. I didn't name any names. Is this where we're introducing ourselves?
And share where you are now, please.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Aubrey Abbott Patterson. I graduated in 1997 with a degree in political science and a minor in leadership studies. I left leadership studies to come right back and as a faculty staff member. And I think I was the first staff member that Dr. Shoup and Dr. Scott hired, and got to help establish some of the programs and teach some classes. And then I left there and I went to Indianapolis and studied philanthropy and nonprofit leadership, which brought me back home to Kansas. And I now work for the Hutchinson Community Foundation, where every single day I use what I've learned here from so many of you in this room to try to make my community, my chosen home, a better place every day. I'm using community leadership and resident engagement and philanthropy and working with our nonprofit partners and donors every day. And I attribute much of my success and my meaningful life to what I learned from the people here and the curriculum of this program. So thank you.
Good evening. My name is Justin Kastner. I'm here with my wife, Susie, who cleared 10,000 steps while we were doing the Wabash. And, so, good job. Sure. I'm sure Mary can take credit for that wellness moment here in leadership studies. And Susie and I, we met at K-State. Susie's from Garden City. I grew up in Manhattan. We met at K-State. After I got the minor, Susie agreed to marry me. So life has been really good since then. But having been the beneficiary of the mentoring efforts of the likes of Dr. Shoup and Susan and Bernard and Pat and many others, I consider myself fortunate today to be both a faculty member here at K-State. I actually teach in this classroom on Mondays. It's never like this. We never have people with Michelob Ultra on the second row. And yeah, and I definitely never get a standing ovation in class. But so I love mentoring undergraduate and graduate students both here in Manhattan and at the Olathe campus. I'm on faculty in the veterinary college, although I'm not a veterinarian. But if you want discounted dog food, come see me. And really. And then outside of K-State, and since about 2014, I've been an ordained Anglican priest, and so get to mentor students in their life and career development from a pastoral role, and just love getting to do that as well here in what's my hometown.
Before I say anything about myself, I wanted to we haven't had a real opportunity to say thank you. Coming back here, we haven't been here in a very long time, and for you guys to put this sort of effort forward to just invite us back and spend the weekend and see what you guys have done, which is beyond anything I could have imagined, having been part of the first class. I just wanted to say thank you. You guys are amazing. So my name is Mike Hodson, and I came here with my wife Amber and my 3 children. My oldest has been wanting to see what a real college and real K-State looks like, because her father wants her to go to, or grandfather wants her to go to Mizzou, and I promised her by the end of the weekend she would change her mind. Since graduating with a BA in English literature, I went on to the University of Wisconsin Law School and graduated, and spent 7 or 8 years working in a small firm. And then in 2011, I started my own practice, and my firm specializes in class actions and complex litigation. We're representing employees in disputes with their employers, and specifically about wage and hour issues. We do a smattering of other things, including consumer protection work. I would say that I would have never had the fortitude to take the risk of starting my own firm but for this program. And we've been pretty successful since then, and it's in no small part because of the things that I learned when I was here at K-State.
Hi, my name is Maggie Keating Barlow, and I'm here with my husband Todd. We live in Raleigh, North Carolina now with our 3 boys, Thomas, Henry, and Charles. And I'm also very grateful to be here. This has been a wonderful experience. I still have family that lives in Marysville, Kansas, so we do get back to Kansas to visit. But this has just been a remarkable experience to be able to come back. And I am grateful for the foundation that has helped me in my career. Since graduating from K-State in 1998 with a degree in political science, I worked in electoral politics. And then 10 years ago, I started my own consulting business called Ad Astra Consulting, tying back to my Kansas roots. But I help political candidates and nonprofits raise money and handle their campaign finance compliance. So obviously there were a lot of great skills that I learned here, and I'm just forever grateful for that. So thank you for the opportunity to be here.
Good evening, everybody. I'd also like to just thank you all for the hard work. I know it takes a great deal of effort to put in all the details, all the moving parts that it makes to put together such a great weekend of events, really, and to pull it off so beautifully. Everything looks like it's going smoothly. But I actually am on staff at K-State. I'm an academic advisor in the College of Human Ecology, work with dietetic students. So I'm here almost daily, but this is a different experience to get to be kind of part of this group, both as a student was a very special thing, but to be on this side of things, getting the opportunity. I talk with students often about leadership studies minor. I have students that are going through the program, but to really get to kind of be a spectator and watch you guys in action has been really special as well. For me, the leadership study, the minor actually really changed the course I was going in life. I got my bachelor's degree in modern languages, and in the course of my practicum, had a great opportunity with college athletics. So I had a very good kind of exaggerated deviation in the direction I was planning to go. But it really made a huge difference for me because I got the opportunity to see how leadership plays out in so many different ways. I think we often think about it as a positional in an official manner. And what this group allowed, kind of I think we all experience, is that you have to learn to lead in lots of different ways. You have to first lead yourself. And I really got the opportunity to experience a growth environment. And that's definitely something that I really fell in love with. And I've had the fortune to continue to seek that out. And so we talked about that today, but you guys are clearly doing that because in the discussions we've had with students, they've definitely echoed those same things. So thank you very much. And my husband, Christian, is here. We have 2 daughters. A 13-year-old and a 9-year-old. So we're most often found chasing them in all of their sports activities and things.
I'm Kate Harone. I work in Omaha, Nebraska now. I work with Catholic school teachers, and it's a wonderful opportunity to use my leadership minor to be able to teach the teachers. And mostly what I do is really just remind them why they're there. And this has been such a blessing this weekend. I forgot how much I love K-State, how much I love Susan, how much I am so grateful for my roots here. And the marching band, whoever's idea that was, that just made not only my whole night, probably my whole year. That was amazing. So I'm really, really grateful to be here and happy to just be back in Manhattan. Manhappiness, as I call it.
Perfect.
So good evening. My name is Aaron Otto. A townie, grew up here in Manhattan, live in Johnson County now, and had a chance to work on the federal level, state level, and now I work for local government, running the airports in Johnson County, railroad water, and some other little fun joys. But all of it's been public service. And all of it really comes back to the fact that, outside of my involvement with Delta Chi as an undergraduate, I mean, leadership studies was probably the biggest course correcting event, like you've heard already this evening, in giving us some new direction, learning the soft skills, learning how to get to people talking to each other, how to try to bridge gaps. And we've seen this in our national dialogue. We need more people coming together, certainly, than what we see. One thing I want to reflect on is, you can plug that, that's good, is how far we've come in so many ways. We're going to look past the hair loss. Hey. Yes, you did. Thank you, Casey. But that top right picture was our graduation dinner at a Mexican joint with as many people as we could assemble. That was leadership studies at the time, Bob and Susan. But yeah, we had nothing quite like this. But I do remember even thinking at that time when we graduated, and we had kind of that year to get this done since it started in 97. We all got out in 98, I believe. But the reality is, I thought about, and really it was Susan's vision. And I thought at that point, I said, wow, if this takes off, I mean, we're just the first group of a dozen flunkies or so, 14. But I thought about it that night because I just saw at that time a movie called The Natural. And if you remember that movie, there's a guy that they called Roy Hobbs, I think was the name. And they said, there goes Roy Hobbs, the best there ever was. Someday they'll say that. And I thought about it, man, this program with Susan and Bob, the vision they had, the support they got, and then they had a few people taking them along the journey with us. And I just want to repeat that again. I think we've now reached that day. It's no longer someone will say they're the best there ever was. We've arrived at that, and you two really are the best there ever was. So thank you very, very much.
Good evening. My name is Patrick Carney. I was the old man of the group, as everybody has repeatedly said. People wonder why I lose my hair. No, it's, I can tell you that from all the experiences, when I came to K-State, I came here as a non-traditional student, and I got embraced by a lot of very traditional students, and we became fast friends. And one of the biggest changes in my life was this leadership program. And it changed my opinion as to what it meant to be a leadership, because prior to this program, it was more about me than about everyone else. And I came to understand something that has dominated my life. Upon leaving here, I went to a school, a law school that shall remain unnamed because they're down the road a ways and nobody likes to hear that name. But they were the least expensive opportunity and I didn't have much money. But from there, I took that servant leadership role, the lessons I learned here, and became an assistant district attorney in Johnson County, Kansas for 10 years. And the reason why I haven't been back for a long time is because I've been jumping around the country serving as an assistant United States attorney, working on fraud, embezzlement, national security cases. And the reason why I'm there is because of this program. The story I want to share to you is that I have been an assistant DA for almost a decade. And the whole reason why a United States attorney out of the Northern District of Alabama took a chance on me to become a federal prosecutor was because of two reasons. One, kind of the funny reason, was I had worked my way through law school and undergrad as a bartender, and she wanted the ingredients for the perfect martini. You cannot make that up. But two, she saw my leadership minor and she loved it. And we sat and we talked. We didn't talk about the law. We didn't talk about my 10 years of experience as a criminal prosecutor. We talked for 45 minutes about leadership and Bill Snyder and this school and how it was had such a wonderful impact. Never, never underestimate this program. It made my dreams come true. And I am so very thankful. So thank you to all of you for all the hard work you've done.
It's hard to follow up this group and everything that they've said. So my name is Casey Carlson. I came from Boston. So we've got Boston and Seattle represented in the distance. I was thinking about this program, and so Aubrey's first alphabetically. I had already finished undergrad, so we go back and forth about that. But for me, it was a big time of change for a number of reasons personally. And this is an anchor for me. So whether it's being in the first class or serving with a number of people in the first class on the advancement council, having my kids here when we broke the ground, planning tonight, this is an anchor for me. So that's really important to me. I hope it's important to all of you as students, and that you'll take that away, and as friends and as donors and family. I think I'm just going to stop there, because I might not be able to keep going on. But as this Who's First goes on and on, Aubrey's going to represent us in some thoughts that we had, right, about our time over these last 2 days.
We've been having a lot of fun the last couple of days, reorienting ourselves to the campus, to leadership studies, and to each other. I mean, we haven't seen each other much in 20 years, maybe if at all, some of us. So we've had a great 2 days with all of you. And but we haven't had a lot of time to talk about exactly what we've learned from you. But today we gathered for a few minutes and just said, there's a lot of things that we were really impressed by. And so I wrote down a few. And most of all, you students, you remind us of ourselves, and we thank you for that. I mean, you are young. That's nice. But you're curious, and you're eager, and you're interested and interesting. And we still think we're all those things too, but we see ourselves in you. And we also got this overwhelming sense that you know that you're going to make a difference in your world and whatever it is that you do. And that's so refreshing, and we appreciated it. We also were very glad to see that the culture of leadership studies that we know and knew is still thriving here today. I think it was Patrick who mentioned a conversation he had with a student, or maybe more than one student, and I think we could all say this, where the conversation was balanced, it was civil, and on varying points in a controversial topic, maybe he was able to have a conversation with students who could look at both sides of an issue. And in our world today, we don't always get to have those opportunities. In our own jobs, we don't get to have those opportunities. Sometimes our own families, we can't have those opportunities for that type of conversation. And it was so good to know that you still can, and that when we're here, we can. And I think that meant a lot to all of us too, to know that at K-State and at Leadership Studies, people can have those meaningful dialogues back and forth. We also heard a lot of call to action. It's not just talk. You're doing, you're making a difference. You're looking for ways to improve many things on many different fronts. We've been very impressed by the action of the university. I think it's on Tuesday when you'll have an ongoing dialogue, a march. Somebody's leading a march. Somebody's leading conversation. And that means a lot to us, because I take that as inspiration, and I think we all do, that there are things we can do in our own communities. Maybe we're doing it, maybe we should be doing more of it, but leading the types of conversations that are going to make our communities better places to be. So thank you for that. Thank you for reminding us to always have that call to action and know what we're doing and why. And I guess Justin spoke to us specifically about a student that he was touched by in conversation this morning. I believe her name's Lone.
Yeah, is Lone here? Lone, look, she
can hear us.
Come in here, Lone.
Here you go.
Yeah. Give her one of those Mike Finnegan claps. Yeah.
You should have let that.
So this morning, we gathered over in one of the classrooms on this side of the building and had a feast of donuts, which everyone was politely cutting in half, and I was taking both halves every time. But Patrick and I sat with, I think it was Kelly and then Lone at our, and maybe Corbin was the other one that was at her table. But I remember Lone talking to you, and it reminded me of what it was like to talk to Susan. Susan always had time for next step questions about career, questions about graduate school. You know, what should I do with my life? I think I even asked you for premarital advice, if you can believe that. But Lone, and you're from Garden City, is that right? And you're a senior right now, or junior? Junior. And she's from, Southwest Kansas. And I think that it can be said that Kansans deserve to have a positive mentoring experience somewhere in college. Amen? And when she sat down, I just was listening to the things she was interested in, and we ended up having a discussion about possible options for her aspirations in public health and global health and maybe going abroad and whatnot. And it was a weird feeling because I kind of felt a little bit maybe what it might have been like to be Susan 20 years ago when she was giving me life and academic and career counsel. And that's something that we should all look, I think, for opportunities to replicate over and over and over again. So best wishes, Lone, and thanks for chatting this morning.
Before I wrap up, do any of you want to add something that I missed? I mean that, really.
Patrick, you always. I think we should have one prosecution story from Patrick.
You got anything for us? Well, let me just say, I think our shared sentiment here is gratitude to all of you for what you do and continue to do. And that we all believe we didn't do anything miraculous to deserve this honor other than be in the right place at the right time and say yes. We did do that. We said yes, we want to be part of this. Warren, what did you say last night? You recognize excellence and you get behind it. I think we did that too. We got behind it and said, yes, count us in. And I think all of you do that every day too. You're saying yes in so many ways, and thank you. This is going to keep living on for our kids. My kids are sitting back there with my husband, and I think they're future Wildcats and future leadership studies students, if all goes well.
So please join us once more in honoring our 2017 Michael C. Holen Leaders in Residence. And we will be gathering them after the program for official pictures. So thank you. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Emily Polston. I'm currently a senior studying gender, women, and sexuality studies. It's a mouthful. We call it GWIZ for short. And I'm also a nonprofit leadership studies minor. Here at the Staley School, I'm involved in ambassadors, Snyder Fellows, and class leaders.
Yes, and my name is Bailey Porter. I'm a senior studying medical biochemistry with minors in anthropology and leadership studies. And I know it's a mouthful too. And then I serve as the co-president of the Staley School Ambassadors, and I was a former class leader as well.
Bailey and I also had the opportunity to travel to Belgium not too long ago to participate in the International Leadership Association case competition.
Yeah, and we actually got first place, so I guess we could also be.
Thank you. So we're here. We just want to say it's incredible to see what the first class has, been through and taught us, and what they've contributed to the school.
Yes, and it's been really cool to interact with the past alum and especially our leaders in residence these past few days, just because what your guys' experiences were really helped shape our experiences and really make progress on really shaping this program as well. The Leadership Studies program has, at least today, has been a place where we can really create a sense of community, really tackle a lot of those social issues that are facing our community and especially our campus today as well. And then also just have a nice place to study and have a nice cup of coffee too. So we just really want to thank you for that.
We really want to express our fullest gratitude to all the different stakeholders. See what I did there? Leadership language. Our alumni. I know I can speak it with you all. Our alumni, the friends of the Staley School, the students, the current faculty and staff. So we have a short video for you guys.
Yeah, so just to like reiterate the video, thank you guys so much. I think it's been really cool to kind of see that even though we have these 20 years between us, we're still have really similar experiences too.
Yeah, after 20 years, not a lot has changed. I guess a lot has changed, but we still have the open door policy with all the faculty, awesome playlists every morning, and lots of questions to keep us thinking. So we always, when Bailey and I are here, we walk around to see whose door's open, pop in, say hi.
Yeah, and music still has been used to help kind of create the environment that we really want to have with our leadership studies classes. And even though we might not use mixtapes anymore, we can still jam out to One Direction on Thursday mornings and lead 212. So.
And of course, we love the 90s denim jackets. We were born. But seriously, 20 years doesn't separate us that much. The meanings that you have made, the questions you have asked, we too are asking those today. So we were reminded many things this week when you come back to the Staley School. For instance, it's not uncommon to find faculty sitting with students in the hall, on the floor, in the classroom, asking the same question of leadership for what?
I got this.
Awesome. This is our friend Anna. So.
Thanks so much, guys.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Anaí Arce Gross. I am a senior in operations and supply chain management in the College of Business, and I am a student coordinator for Hands-On K-State here in the Leadership Studies building. Yeah. So when I think about my leadership for what, I think about my work for Hands-On K-State. I think about my involvement with the Edgerly Franklin Urban Leadership Program and my time with Cargill, who I'll be starting my professional career with this June. So one thing that all of these experiences have in common is their focus on relationships, on the link between communities to support one another, to grow, to change, and to lead. I'm reminded hearing from our partners from Cargill, who some of them are here today, and of course our class from 1997, that relationships are what matter. Leadership itself is a relationship. Relationships, partnerships, and the ability for us to connect across cultures and bonds and just communicate with one another is basically what has allowed leadership studies to start 20 years ago. And relationships and partnerships are what we need our faculty, our alumni, our staff, our students, and our friends to take on to make sure that leadership studies continues for the next 20 years. So thank you. Thank you for all of your support. Thank you for all of your work. And thank you so much for investing in us and our future.
Thank you, Anna. So now we want to take time to update you on what we've been up to. And while some of you have been with us each year as we've celebrated the spirit of leadership, for some of you, we know this is your first time back on campus since you've graduated. Where's Emily Swan? Or maybe the first time in the building since we built it. Welcome home. And it's with this in mind that we want to provide you some updates with how far we've walked these past 20 years. So today we look a bit different. As you may have heard, we started in 1997 with 14 students, 9 of whom are here, and some undergraduate courses. And to date, we have taught 17,000 students just in our Introduction to Leadership Concepts course. We don't teach our students in closets anymore, Ashley. But we do still count heavily on our class leaders. We have more than 50 this year to help our small groups come to life and create a meaningful learning experience for our first semester freshmen. We have a 16 credit hour minor, and our core still remains the same. We study culture and context and leadership and practice. We work on the ethical dimensions of leadership. And of course, we take time to reflect. Lots and lots and lots of time to reflect. We have a brilliant group of students in our nonprofit focus who together are shifting the field of nonprofit leadership and contributing to positive change in their communities. In 1997, we went from 14 graduates. Today, we have more than 2,400 graduates of the Leadership Studies minor. And in 1997, all 14 of our Leadership Studies students were residents here at K-State on campus. Today, we have students from 6 continents, and stay tuned, we will find our way to the 7th. This includes both undergraduates and graduates, Mandela Washington Fellows, veterans, professionals from Manhattan and from throughout the state of Kansas and around the country. And our students today are different, but they're still driven by the same question: leadership for what? In 1997, we had a legendary football coach. And in 2017, we still have that legendary coach. And we also have the Snyder Leadership Legacy Fellows. Where are the fellows tonight? A group of seniors involved in a college to career leadership development program. In 1989, we had service learning programs. And today we have community engagement, which continues through our international service teams, our alternative breaks, hands-on Kansas State. We have students making an impact in communities here and around the globe, working to address issues like food insecurity, the civic health of Kansas, and of course, save the sea turtles in the Gambia. And in 1997, our Leadership Studies ambassadors were actually the first class. They traveled around the state asking anyone who would listen to help fund the first 2 computers for the Leadership Studies program.
Thank you, Rich Missler.
Yeah. Today, our ambassadors have built a scholarship fund to support their peers in participating in alternative breaks, traveling to conferences, and creating opportunities for one another to grow. And of course, they recruit. You all know they are our greatest asset in recruiting new students to the minor, bringing them into the Leadership Studies community. In 1997, we had what we found out this week were called the Sweet Six faculty, who are helping lay the foundation for this program here today. And today in 2017, the Sweet Six may not know this, but we have the terrific 20-ish. And we're here to celebrate tonight as well. And of course, one of the things that's apparent to me is the Leadership Studies family has gotten younger. I mean, I saw a 6-week-old here. And that's pretty cool too. In 1997, we had 14 and the Sweet Six. And today we have this and so many more. And for this, we celebrate. So now that you know a little bit about how we've changed, we're going to tell you a little bit about what's next.
So I had the opportunity. Hi, I'm Mary Toller. I'm the director of the Staley School of Leadership Studies. Sorry.
And I am so delighted to be here. I had the opportunity at the very beginning of this year to do an update for our colleagues on campus. In 2011, we started a process called K-State 2025. It was a strategic planning process for the university. And 5 years in, they wanted to see, well, all right, 5 years in, what has happened? So in 2011, when the planning started, those were our academic programs. We had a minor, which you all know very well, nonprofit focus, and we had the student programs that came with us with the community service program. In 2016, the year that I was reporting on, that's what we had. So we had a minor, we had the nonprofit focus, but we started new partnerships, new programs. We now work with the College of Engineering on an engineering leadership and innovation program. We have a partnership with the College of Agriculture. We have a secondary major in global food systems leadership. We have new programs all across the world. And of course, you've met our Snyder Fellows. What we can update from January to today is that we also have coming online an interdisciplinary PhD in leadership communication. Yeah. This is also a partnership with our colleagues in the Department of Communication Studies in the College of Arts and Sciences and Agricultural Communications in the College of Agriculture. This is, well, those of you who have been around a college or university, you know what it takes to work across disciplines and to work across units to make something happen. This was a long time coming. But the fact that we're here is something worth celebrating. In addition to this interdisciplinary PhD that is coming online with our first class in the fall, we also got to welcome a new faculty member in leadership studies, Dr. Tim Steffensmeyer, and he is leading this graduate program and is also leading a really exciting research initiative out of the Kansas Leadership Center, another of our partners that we're delighted to have. I also reported on partnerships, many different ways that we have partnerships. And then you can see in 2011, it's important and it's impressive. We had really strong, good partnerships and programs. 2016, we had even more. And we have another one to celebrate this year. Again, lots happened in just a few months' time. This is not a new partner, but it's a new program. Cargill has been with us for a very long time, and we are decidedly excited to have a new program that's coming online, the Cargill Leadership Accelerator Program. So this is, again, another opportunity to think about that college to career, really professional leadership development, and an opportunity to partner with some of our great partners, our longstanding partners of Cargill. And Anna, of course, was speaking to that as well. So another great opportunity. And then we did something else this year. We've done, well, they were the first group that was thanked. This 20th year engagement committee, they really helped us think creatively about what this could be. This was not simply a reunion. Not that there's anything simple about a reunion, but that was not simply what this was about. This was an opportunity to say 20 years in, how are we going to engage with our alumni and our friends differently? So we have engaged significantly. We've used social media. So back to Trish's then and now. In 1997, we had 0 Twitter followers and Facebook friends. And we have nearly 3,000 followers now. So pretty exciting. And we've really stepped up our opportunity through the Why I Give Wednesdays and Throwback Thursdays to make sure that people understand who are not here in this room tonight. They understand what is happening with leadership studies and moving forward. We also did, thanks to the very generosity of our first class, we had a matching gift challenge this year. We've not done that before, our first ever matching gift challenge. And it was matched by our first class. They put up the money to match. And because of that wonderful effort and all the energy that happened, we have 125 alumni who are giving to this program who have never given before. This is new engagement that we can point to just for this 20th year engagement success. So thank you to the 20th year committee. Thank you to our first class for making this possible. So all of this, the many lists, the strategic plan update, all of this is possible because of the foundation built by our founders, the first class, of course, the Sweet Six as well. Those early faculty and staff who wore boas and Burger King crowns. They pored over countless leadership texts, met with numerous faculty, administration, student bodies, the members of the folks on campus to make this possible, all to get it right. They knew it was important to get it right, to build a space where people could come together, sometimes in the wake of the unimaginable, the conversations, 9/11, Hurricane Katrina, and what we now experience is all too many affronts to our shared humanity. They built a place where we could meet, come together, and make sense, make progress, to exercise leadership. It's an amazing time, and they were amazing folks who got this started. And I'd like to invite 3 of the members of the original Sweet Six to join here tonight and share some thoughts with us. Ata, Mary Kay, Candy, will you please join us?
Well, don't be sour. We're sweet. Come on. Before I get started to say a few thank yous, I want to acknowledge how much we have honored Susan and Bob for their vision and their courage to do the work that they did 20 years ago when it wasn't easy to do this, and we've thanked them the last 2 days and want to add my thanks to that. But you know they did a lot, but I want to tell you what. Pardon? It does take a village. It does take a village. And when Susan stepped down as director, we did a really good job of picking her successor. Now, Mary Toller, would you come up here for a minute? Come here. Come here. Yeah. Come here, sweet woman. Here, stay here. Stay here. Yeah. Yeah. Mary has done a phenomenal job. Now, there's no way to fill Susan's shoes, okay? We know that. There's no way to follow Bob. Nobody even tries to follow you, Bob. But Mary has created her own path, and you have set us, Mary, on a direction that obviously has been so successful. And for everybody who's been a part of leadership studies, you've had the backing of anybody here, of the faculty, the staff, the students, and you saw the appreciation of how everybody here feels about you. So even though it's 20 years and we're looking back over those 20 years, I want you to know that you've been a critical part of those 20 years. You're wonderful. I wish I could say we had an award for you, but we don't. Yeah, it's reward. That's all we have. But I want to take a few moments to thank our current students. And the history of this program obviously has been built on students. And I know when the first few classes or courses were created, Susan and Bob worked with students to create those. Any changes to those courses, students were involved. When we designed this building, students were involved. So anytime there's been any change or any thought of where do we go from here, anytime we've had a challenge with leadership studies, where do we go? We go to students. So that's not going to change. And I just want to say to all the current students here today, you are critically, critically important to the success of this program. It's for you, but you are the program. You are the program. And I hope you understand that, and I hope you will share your knowledge with us. I know you do, as Emily was talking about the open door sessions that we all have and students sitting on the floor with us. If you think that's for you, oh, in a few years you're going to figure that out. It's really for us as the faculty. But we're mining you a little bit. We're gathering knowledge from you. So for all the current students, on behalf of the faculty and staff at Leadership Studies, I want to say thank you. Thank you for trusting us and being a part of this. And please continue to give as much in the future as you've given to us in the past. So thank you very much. There you are, sweet man.
Good evening. My name is Atta Kareem, and it was my great pleasure to have participated in this grand experiment, which is now a sustaining legacy. And on behalf of the faculty and staff, current and former, thank you to the first class. To our alumni, thank you for your engagement, investment, and for what you do in the future for this work. Susan, thank you. A man who is much wiser and slightly more attractive than me, Bob Shoup, thank you. And of course, the Sweet Six, thank you. You know, Bob yesterday mentioned that it is the student that we do this for, and this is all about you. Mary Kay mentioned that it really is the most amazing expression of co-authorship, of learning and empowerment that I have ever experienced anywhere. And I know that I learned more from those who occupy the same space that we call the classroom than you probably did from me. And one of the things that we heard, that regardless of what the first class of graduates is doing, they are bound by the common thread of service. And that was evident in every story that was shared. And I hope that all of you who are here recognize that is the heart of what is. Here's the difficulty for somebody like me who knew this as leadership studies and programs. I have this difficulty, right? In my heart and mind, that is what it was. And you know, it is never the brick and mortar of the building. It is the love of the people. Buildings do help. And they help because they're an expression of investment in an idea. So it is my great honor and my great pleasure to be here today to experience this moment with all of you. Please be healers. Reconcile a fractured world. that is how you will pay back. Thank you again to all of you for making this program what it is and what it will be in the future. I am humbled and honored to be here today.
Well, my name is Candy Hirnak, and I had the honor of working here from 2000 to 2012 when I retired. And we know the three of us are part of the Sweet Six. You know that Bob and Susan are. But our sixth one, Heath Harding, stand up. Heath is the sixth member of the Sweet Six. And my heart is filled beyond belief. I may get a little bit emotional. I sat and listened to the panel of the students, our Michael Holan Leaders in Residence scholars. And I sat there next to Atta and Heath, and I said, I'm getting emotional because it was so gratifying to hear what they took from the program, what they're doing. And I thought, that never changes. And I hope all of you have an opportunity to watch that video. I know it was videotaped because it really is such an affirmation of what we're doing here. Before I say anything further, though, I was very honored to serve as part of the planning committee. And the planning committee people stand up once again, planning committee. I just want you to stand up. We had the pleasure of meeting, thanks to technology, from all across the country. We started off meeting more frequently, and then as things really came together, it was less frequently. But we could have not done all the planning without some really important individuals. This event did not happen without the vision and the hard work of so many people. But I really want to honor three people because they have been working, they've been working well into the midnight hours, and I know what that's like sometimes. So I would like Tamara Bauer, Marsha Hornig, and Trish Gott to really stand up and let us show our appreciation for them. And of course, they got so many of our students. If you could have been here, this was just like a beehive humming along. I would again like to express my gratitude to everyone else, but also our donors who are here tonight. And when I say our donors, I think sometimes people immediately think monetary donors, which is really critically important. But I think when we look at the Staley School of Leadership Studies and where we begin and where we come and where we're going, we count on all types of donorships. And I know that happens every day in what you're doing. You are going out, you are donating yourselves, you are giving back to your communities, to your families, to the organizations that you have a passion for. And there's an Asian proverb that says, a grateful and generous heart does a little bit more. And so my challenge to all of you is to continue with that full and grateful heart, to continue to make those small but significant steps in making our communities and the world a better place. We certainly need it. Leadership, past, present, and future, the alumni who are here, the current students, and the future. There are so many leadership babies here tonight. It's exciting. To see, and the young children who are here. So my heart is full to see where we're going. And we couldn't do with all of our community supporters as well. We go on, we've heard thank you, thank you, thank you. But I know that that gratitude is sincerely something that we feel. And Susan and Bob, we couldn't be here. And so again, thank you from my heart. It's a pleasure to be here, and I can hardly wait to talk to those of you I haven't talked to yet. So thank you so much.
So not to get repetitive, thank you. Thank you, Mary Kay, Ada, and Candy. Thank you, Heath. Thank you, Susan. Thank you, Bob. And thank you, 20th year committee. Then and now. But there are constants. It's easy to say that today is so much different, and maybe it is, but the same motivations are driving the program, and we continue to keep on our leading edge. Early investments got us here, and your investment now will assure that we're ready for what's next. We've got some specific ideas for putting that investment to work. We have a leading edge faculty initiative. We were Sweet 6. We are now Terrific 20. But we may need to be a thriving 30 or a fabulous 40. If we're to be the faculty and engage the visiting scholars and leaders that we need to stay on that leading edge. We have opportunities to provide need-based support to students participating in our programs, as well as scholarship opportunities for students pursuing the minor or many of our other academic programs. And yes, it's even time to think about our space. We want to be positioned to grow into who we need to be for our students, university, communities, and world. We've got to be intentional about creating those spaces for bridging across difference. Way too much declaration and expression and retreating into our enclaves. We have ideals that connect us and are reflected in our mission, and we need to care for those ideals. We've got to cultivate and care for those ideals. We have a powerful mission statement, and I'm drawn right now by the question of the leadership for what? It's leadership for a diverse and changing world. Some approach that world with optimism, but others are fearful. Uncertainty means we must stay connected, communicate, support, engage one another, engage rather than retreat. We have to be willing to enter the arena. Thank you, Teddy Roosevelt, for that. And that arena may feel a little scarier place maybe than it was 20 years ago, or maybe not. But that's the call for leadership, to be there for each other and to move forward, to continue to become, developing, to become that more perfect union, to become those leaders necessary for a diverse and changing world. And for that, we rely on you. This has been a year of intentional and accelerated engagement with our alumni and friends. And it's a celebration tonight, a reunion. Moving forward, we need your recommitment. The world has big needs and we have big plans. We need you to help us become and be who we need to be for this diverse and changing world. So stay engaged and give as you can and work with us. So what story will we tell 20 years from now? What will we say about this night, this year, this group, this program? We know one thing as we ask the question, leadership for what? We will be reminded of the work, the people, the relationships that brought us to this place. We will need each of those things, along with your investment, your time, your support, to move to the next 20 years. So leadership for what? We've got some ideas, some pretty bold ideas, and I bet you do too. And so we need to do this together. And so consider yourselves invited. Now for some reminders, as is my job as director of the Staley School and the person at the podium to remind you of the rest of your evening. We have a full week of activities. Tomorrow we are hosting a tailgate in Cat Town, which is on the southwest side of the stadium. We'll be there from 12:30 to 2:30 when the game starts. If you would like to enjoy the buffet, it's catered by Cox Barbecue and you have not yet registered, please stop by the registration table and give them your name. The cost is $18, but please stop by if you'd like. We'd love to have you there, and we just need to know that you're coming. We also have 8 tickets left in our group block for the game. If anyone still needs tickets, they're $35 each. And on Sunday, no, it's not a tractor pull. On Sunday, from 9:30 to 11:30, we are hosting an open house, jazz brunch, and art auction. Yes, it's going to be awesome. There will be a jazz band, catered breakfast, hosted bar, and at 10:30, we will be having a live auction. There will be pre-bidding tonight. So if you might just take a gander at your name tag, there's a number on it. Yeah. So you have a number on your name tag, and if you care to, you may use it to sign up to do some pre-bidding for the auction items. The artwork is displayed in room 126, and Victoria, you're gonna want to see it. I know. There will be a live stream on Sunday also, so if you want to do some absentee bidding, if you're not going to be here on Sunday, but you'd still like to do some absentee bidding, that is also possible. So stop by the registration table and we'll get your information. So we hope this evening is just the beginning of your time tonight. I know we went a little long, but 20 years. We had a lot to pack in here. And we don't want you to go home yet because we have more food, we have the bar, there's many things to do, and you have a lot of catching up to do. And I know I haven't seen everybody, so the bar is open, food's been refreshed in 123 and 126. There's a photo booth as well. We hope you will see, there's a long list here, so stay with me. 2 more items. You with me? All right. If you want to recycle your name tags, we can do that for you. We are green. We are green. And also, photos will be available here after our lovely pennant display. So if you want to take photos with maybe fellow class leaders, maybe folks that you went on international service teams with, your family, your friends, please stay and enjoy that. Our first photo opportunity will be with the first class. First class, first photo. And then this place will be open for that as well. All right, so lastly, our gift tonight for you is Emily, stand up. Be Vanna. Is a lovely, beautiful pennant that will remind you, hopefully, of this special time, this 20th reunion of sorts as it is. So thank you sincerely for spending this evening with us. And as I am wont to do, I must charge you now to eat, drink, and be merry. I do it all the time.